All right, dentists, especially if you're an associate or thinking about bringing one into your practice, this video is for you. We're going to talk about the career-killing mistakes that I see associate dentists make time and time again. These are the lead pitfalls that cause frustration, stagnation, burnout, and ultimately prevent you from achieving the financial success and professional fulfillment that you deserve. I want to be very direct because understanding these mistakes will help you create a roadmap for massive success, whether you want to own a practice one day or be a highly compensated and respected career associate. Avoiding these 8 mistakes is absolutely critical. So let's get into it. Mistake number 1, choosing a practice that is a terrible fit. This is where the problems often start, right from day one. I see so many associates focus only on the promised pay or the location without honestly assessing if the practice culture and clinical demands are a match for their personality and their current skill set. I've seen associates with an underdeveloped skill set jump into a high-end, fee-for-service practice that requires mastery of complex procedures, and it's a recipe for disaster. I've seen associates who are still building their communication confidence enter a practice where closing high-value treatment plans is the lifeblood of the business. It just won't work. I've seen associates who prefer a slower, more methodical pace join a high-volume dental mill type of an office, and they are miserable within weeks. The reality is there are many valid and successful ways to practice dentistry, but when you get a fundamental mismatch between who you are as a clinician and the practice you join, one of 2 things has to happen. You either have to rapidly and radically change your mindset and skills to fit the new environment, or you are simply going to be unhappy and ultimately fail in that position. You must be brutally honest with yourself about who you are and what kind of an environment that you will thrive in before you sign that contract. Now, mistake number 2 is not having an open mind. This is a big one. An associate will come into a new practice carrying all the baggage, both good and bad, from their previous experiences. Whether that's dental school or another office, they give far too much weight to how we used to do it, and they can't or won't accept or adapt to how things are done in the new practice. They might question the materials, the workflow, the scheduling philosophy, not from a constructive place, but from a place of judgment. This immediately creates friction with the owner, with the team, and it signals that you're not a team player. You have to walk into a new practice with humility and an open mind, ready to learn and adapt to their established systems before you even think about suggesting changes. Mistake number 3 is forgetting who the boss is. This might sound harsh, but it's a needed reality check. If you are working as an associate in another doctor's practice, your primary job, beyond providing excellent clinical care, is to help the owner succeed and to align with their vision for the practice. I have seen far too many associates jump into a practice and immediately start acting like they own the place, like they are the most important person there. That mindset is a career killer. If you want it to be all about you, your philosophies, your rules, then you need to own a practice. As an associate, you are part of a team, and the owner is the captain of that team. Your role is to help the practice grow, to support the systems in place, and to contribute to the overall goals that the owner is trying to accomplish. If making the owner and the practice successful isn't a top priority for you, it's going to be a major issue. Mistake number 4 is having unrealistic pay expectations. Every associate seems to expect to walk into a new position and find the schedule that is completely packed with unlimited high-value work from day one. Let me be clear, that almost never happens. When a practice brings on an associate, it takes time to integrate that person, to build trust with patients, and to fill their schedule. If you want a job where you just show up, do the prescribed work, and go home with no expectation of building your own schedule, then you should probably join a DSO or an HMO style clinic. That's what the model is for. But if you join a private practice, you must have the expectation that it'll take time for you to build your schedule. And more importantly, that you must be actively involved in the process. It's not just up to the owner in the front office to put work in your schedule. You have to play a major role by building rapport with patients, increasing your case acceptance, and being a productive member of the team. You have to earn that full schedule. Now, mistake number 5 is being way too slow to increase your skills. This is a huge one. I see so many associates who get comfortable and they go for years and years just doing bread and butter crowns, fillings, and the occasional simple extraction. You cannot build significant wealth or become a highly valuable clinician in dentistry by staying in that zone forever. The only way to dramatically increase your income is by consistently and aggressively increasing your skill set. Your main energy especially in the first several years of your career, and well, I guess always, should be dedicated to learning more. Implants, clear aligners, endo, surgical extractions, cosmetic cases. This is where you build your real value. Some associates fall into the trap of thinking that because they aren't an owner, they can just coast clinically. That is a massive mistake. To be successful and highly compensated, you have to have a deep and broad skill set. It doesn't matter if you're an owner or not. Your personal economy as a dentist is directly tied to the complexity of the problems that you can solve. You must always be pushing to learn and integrate new skills into your repertoire. Now, mistake number 6 is not having goals or a vision for the future. This leads to stagnation. Think of an associate who just shows up to work day after day, year after year with no real plan. They're just existing. They have no game plan to accomplish key milestones, no vision for where they want to be in 5 or 10 years, no benchmarks for growth. This lack of direction inevitably leads to burnout, frustration, and a feeling of being stuck. Whether you plan to own a practice or not, you must continually set goals for yourself. These don't have to be just financial. They can be clinical goals, leadership goals, and personal goals, but you have to have a plan for your future. If you don't, you'll just get trapped in the 9-to-5 rhythm and nothing will ever change. For a short time, that might be okay, but for most driven professionals, it's a fast track to feeling unfulfilled. Mistake number 7 is just not saving enough money. This is a universal problem, but I see it even more with associate dentists. They have high personal expenses and live paycheck to paycheck, assuming the big paydays will just keep coming and growing. You should be saving a significant portion of your income, at least 20%. And if you're not, you're putting your future financial freedom at serious risk. Things are expensive and I get it, but the reality is that many young professionals need to consciously live a lifestyle well below their means to build a strong financial foundation. As a practice owner, you are at least building an equity in an asset, but an associate, your savings and investments are your primary wealth building tool. So don't neglect it. And finally, what I believe is maybe the most important career defining mistake an associate can make is mistake number 8, not taking ownership of things. Now, this is a mindset. It's a mindset that underlies many of the other mistakes. The associate feels that because they're not the owner, if anything goes wrong, it's someone else's fault. The schedule isn't full. It's the front office's fault. The assistant isn't great. It's the owner's problem. Production is low. It's the economy or the patient demographics. This is a victim mentality and it will kill your career. You can and you must take full ownership over what happens to you in your job. Every single practice owner would love for the associate to take more ownership of their situation. If your production isn't where you want it to be, don't look for external things that you can't control. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do? How can I improve my case acceptance? How can I be more efficient? How can I better lead my team to support me? How can I become an active problem solver and not a blamer? There are very, very few associate positions where you truly cannot control your own success. There's almost always an important opportunity to take more ownership, to be more proactive, and to have more control over your future right where you are. The associates who embrace this owner's mentality and mindset are the ones who become indispensable, the ones who get the best opportunities, and the ones who ultimately have the most successful and rewarding careers. If you can avoid these 8 mistakes, you will set yourself on a path that is miles ahead of your peers. And if you're an owner, these are the things that you need to look for and coach your associates on. If you found this advice valuable and you want more no-nonsense strategies for building a successful dental career, whether you're an associate or an owner, make sure that you hit the subscribe button now. Let's keep working together to make dentistry fun, fulfilling, and rewarding. Subscribe so you don't miss the next strategy, and I'll see you soon.